Tonight, when you go to bed, you will probably do something without thinking. You will turn off the light, and in the half second before sleep, a small, quiet part of you will not like it. Maybe you leave a hallway light on. Maybe you pull the covers a little higher. You are a grown, modern person, safe behind locked doors. And still, some ancient part of you would rather not be alone in the dark. We call it fear of the dark, and we treat it as a childish thing, something you are supposed to grow out of. But here's the strange part. You never really do. So why would evolution build a fear this stubborn into a creature as clever as you? Because it turns out the fear was never really about the dark. The dark is just empty air. The fear is about what used to be waiting inside it. And to understand that, you have to go back to a time when you were not the most dangerous thing in the room. For most of the story of our kind, we imagine our ancestors as hunters, spears in hand, chasing down the herd. But for a very long stretch before that, the truth was almost the exact opposite. We were not the hunters, we were the hunted. The anthropologist Robert Sussman spent years studying this, and his conclusion was blunt. Early humans and the primates before them evolved as prey to wild cats, to hyenas, to packs of hunting dogs, to crocodiles at the water's edge, and to things that came from the sky. And we are not guessing about this. We have the evidence in our hands. The most haunting piece of it is a single small skull, found in a South African cave in 1924. It belonged to a child. We call it the Tong child, an early human relative, about 3 years old when it died. For decades, everyone assumed a big cat had taken it. Then researchers looked closer at the tiny eye sockets, and they found the marks. The damage matched something specific, the talons of a great eagle. This child had been snatched, the way a modern crowned eagle still snatches monkeys today, lifted into the air and carried off. That is the world we come from, a world where the sky itself could take your children. So carry that feeling forward. For millions of years, our ancestors lived every day knowing they could be eaten. But daylight, at least, gave them a fighting chance. They could see, they could run, they could climb. And then, every single evening, the light went out. And this is the thing to really sit with. When darkness fell, the balance of power flipped completely. Because the animals that hunted us were built for exactly the hours we were not. Your eyes are wonderful in sunlight and nearly useless in the dark. A lion's are not. A leopard can track prey in gloom so deep that a human standing right there would be, for all purposes, completely blind. Lions, leopards, hyenas, the great hunters of our homeland are creatures of the night. For our ancestors, night was not a time of rest. It was the killing hour. And we can still measure the shadow of that, right now, in the places where humans and lions still share the land. Researchers in Tanzania studied hundreds of lion attacks on people, and the pattern was chillingly clear. The attacks were around 60% more likely to happen after 6 in the evening, not randomly. In the hours right after the light fails. And it went deeper than that. The scientists found the danger tracked the moon itself. On bright full moon nights, the lions hunted less. But in the days right after a full moon, when the evenings turned truly black, the attacks came surging back. Think about what that means. For countless generations, a dark night was, quite literally, more likely to be your last. And the individuals who felt uneasy when the light died, who stayed close to the group and kept their eyes open, those were the ones who lived to see the morning. The ones who wandered off, calm and careless in the dark, tended not to come back. Their fearlessness died with them. But the fear, the caution, that got passed down. Night after night, generation after generation, it was written a little deeper into us. And here's the first thing I did not expect to learn. That instinct is far older than we are. It did not begin with humans at all. To find where it starts, you have to look up, into the trees. Watch a chimpanzee at the end of the day, and you will see something remarkable. Every single evening, it builds a bed. It climbs high into a tree, bends and weaves the branches into a springy nest, and sleeps up there, off the ground. It does this fresh, night after night, and it is not just for comfort, it is for safety. Up in the branches, out of easy reach, you are harder to catch when the hunters come. The instinct is simple and ancient. When the sun goes down, get somewhere safe, and get up off the floor. That is your family too. For tens of millions of years, our primate ancestors survived the night by fearing it, and by hiding from it up high. The dread you feel is not a personal weakness. It is an inheritance older than the human face itself. And that long primate history left another mark on you, one you can test in a fraction of a second. Because the same ancestors were not only hunted from the ground and the sky, they were hunted from the grass, by snakes. The anthropologist Lynn Isbell argues that snakes were among the very first and deadliest predators our ancestors faced, for so long that they helped shape primate vision itself. Our sharp eyes, she suggests, were partly built to spot a threat hiding in the pattern of the world. And it seems to be true. Show people a screen full of flowers with one snake hidden in it, and they find the snake fast. Faster than they find a single flower hidden among snakes. Something in you is tuned from birth to catch that shape. So hold these two pieces together: a deep dread of the dark and a nervous system pre-tuned to spot a predator. Our ancestors were surrounded by killers they could barely see. They needed an edge. And around 1 million years ago, they found the greatest one of all: fire. This is the turning point in the whole story. Because fire did something no claw or muscle ever could. It pushed the darkness back. It drew a circle of light on the ground, and inside that circle, for the first time, the night belonged to us. The flames frightened the great cats away. The light let us see them coming. And this changed us physically. Our ancestor Homo erectus was able to do something no primate had safely done before: come down out of the trees and sleep on the ground. But notice what fire did not do. It did not remove the fear. It gave the fear a job. Someone had to keep the flames alive. Someone had to sit awake and watch the edge of the light, where the eyes still glowed. The dread was not cured. It was put to work. And this is why, deep down, a dark room can still feel like the edge of that firelight. You are standing at the boundary between the safe and the unknown, and a very old part of your brain does not care that the year is now. Which brings us to the strangest and most surprising idea of all. Psychologists have a name for fears like this. They call them prepared fears. And the word prepared is doing something remarkable. It means you did not have to learn them. The psychologist Martin Seligman noticed something odd about what people fear. We are terrified of things that almost never hurt us now: the dark, snakes, spiders, heights, and strangely calm about the things that actually do. Think about it. A car injures far more people today than any wild animal ever will. An electrical socket is a genuine danger in every home. Yet almost no child has to be dragged screaming away from a plug socket. But the dark? The dark needs no teaching at all. That is what prepared means. Evolution loaded the fears that mattered for millions of years and left out the ones that only started hurting us last century. You come into the world already primed to fear the things that once hunted your ancestors. The fear is pre-installed. So the fearful child in the dark bedroom is not being silly and not being weak. That child is running a program that kept our species alive for 100,000 generations. They are afraid of exactly the thing they were built to be afraid of. And it goes to the very top. That flicker of unease you felt turning off your own light tonight, the urge to leave one lamp burning, the quick glance into the dark corner, that is not leftover childishness. That is the same instinct, still doing its quiet job. It is the watcher at the fire, still awake inside you, still checking the edge of the light, still whispering the oldest advice our kind ever learned. When the dark comes, pay attention. So tonight, when you reach for that switch and feel that small reluctance, you do not have to be embarrassed by it. It is not a flaw in you. It is one of the oldest, truest things about you. It is millions of years of survival, quietly keeping watch. So go ahead, turn off the light, and know that the small part of you that hesitates is not a child at all. It is an ancestor, still looking out for you in the dark.